Did you know the type of change leader or change maker you are that will bring out the best in you? To make a powerful impact to your work and the organization for the new normal. Well, there's a name for it, your change leadership identity. So find out how you can discover your change leadership identity using the logical level of change and the change maker profile. So come join me. So for the latest tips and trends on how you can rethink about work and education today, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that notified bell every time when I post a new video every week. Hi, I'm Veronica Stewart. I'm a ReThink coach and consultant, which I help you get unstuck and create that ability for you to make the changes that you want in life and reach those goals that will help you challenge that status quo. We're going to start with the first thing is leadership within. And I'm going to channel the Coactive leadership. And so you'll see the graphic up on the screen that shows you the different areas of how you can lead. I'm only going to focus on leading within, and this is accepting yourself and really understanding your values and beliefs and coming to the table of really that self-acceptance of who you are. We'll probably get into maybe different areas of coactive leadership in the future, but this whole video is about leadership within, of really creating that change identity. And so we're going to jump into the next thing, which is the NPL Peter Dilst logical models. So let's jump into that now.
Really quick at the Peter Dilst NLP's change logical model. What I'm trying to do is help you see and connect the dots with your change leader identity and how these all relate to each other. I'm going to skip the environment piece for right now and circle back to that, but I'm going to jump into the behaviors. And this is really about what you do in a particular situation. In the context of what we're talking about in leadership identity, I provided two examples. And the first example is the leadership circle assessment tool. And so this is measuring where they talk about moving into a creative leadership, where you are and where you sit on that, and then you can work on developing and enhancing those particular behaviors. Another one that I work with as a brain-based coach is the SCARF assessment, and that's in regards to your social drivers. So if I'm working with someone and I'm trying to get them in a positive toward state, I want to consider what is creating them to be in a threat mode and trigger, which is not going to get them into forward positive thinking, and I want to get them more into that reward state of wanting to work on things. So when we're thinking about the context of within, those two are valuable, right? Now let's look at the processes. Now, since this is around the topic of change leadership, I'm using the example of change management. Change management, if we look at processes, we can think about lean change management. That's from Jason Little. We tend to use these a lot in agile transformations. I would say probably the agilist side. We're trying to get others to utilize a more lean, agile way of thinking about change and modern change approaches. Yes, that was a plug. And so here is capabilities where how you would apply change. Now, everyone's behavior and how they react to that is going to be extremely different, right? If we look at the pyramid of what. Another one is process. And that's also a process to help with change. Now, let's get into values and beliefs of why somebody either can contribute a certain way when it comes to change, or they spend more energy and focus when you're having some conversations. There's actually a way to measure that. That is through the change maker profile, which is powered by the GC index. And the GC index provides the ability to measure impact. And this lets you see where an individual really truly wants to put their best foot forward on how they contribute and make an impact. And so if I am a person that really likes to think about what I would call as an implementer of implementing change, I'm probably going to center around a lot on those processes and getting to action and getting it done, which is great. We need people to make sure that we're actually doing something. And this is where, based on my values and beliefs, how I see is being very result driven, I'm going to think about how I best can contribute with a group of people. Now, I could think about my behaviors that are centered around that. What might my social drivers be that can trigger as an implementer always wanting to get to action and getting results done, how that may or may not work with different groups of people. So if I'm looking about the leader within me, that might be very important to me, but I might want to think about how I approach things. And so when we get to the top of identity, which this is what the video is about, is what type of change leader are you based on all of these elements, right? Because once you figure out what that purpose is and what your true north is, and then say if you're working in an organization, now you have to align your own personal identity with the company's purpose. Is there a match or is there a mismatch? See where I'm getting there? So you have to start within yourself if you're going to try to get others to change. Because if you don't really know where you are, how can you expect other people to know where they are either? And when we're going through things, it's like someone learning how to ride a bike. If you're going to teach someone how to ride a bike, you probably should be riding a bike yourself. And so great practice is, how well are you changing? Right? What kind of change person are you? And so this is what I'm challenging you to think about. Now let's jump into where we're going to hone in on the change maker profile and understanding to figure out how you want to show up and contribute as a change leader. So when we looked at the pyramid of the logical models, we talked about personality and the behavior piece of it. So think of that part of this pie, right? The square pie, that's where that sits. You have your expertise and experience is where that capability part of that logical model is going to sit. And in the why, based on your values and beliefs, is where impact lies. Okay, so we're going to jump into the upper right-hand corner talking about the changemaker profile. Changemaker profile is an example of internal dialogue. I thought this might help you put some context around the different types of change maker natural inclinations of where people want to put their energy. Here we have 5 different natural inclinations that we all have. It just varies on the levels of them. So we have a strategist, which is somebody who's really good at mapping change. We have a game changer that is very imaginative, and they imagine change. They're really good at challenging the status quo. The playmaker is orchestrating change, getting people together. The implementer is about driving change. So I use that one as an example in the change logical model about results driven. And the polisher, which is securing change. And that's also keeping us to think about continuous change, right? When it comes to a continuous improvement. Here, when you look at it, it's very different, right? So the existential drive that each one of them have is completely different. So you can see where the values and beliefs come to play. So the playmaker is bringing people together and valuing shared endeavors. So they're all about the people. As a strategist, if you have more of a natural inclination of where you want to put your energy in making sense of things, really good at, they probably like problem solving, seeing patterns of how brings things to purpose and direction. They're really good at creating vision. So think about when you are going through a transformation and you need a North Star, a guiding vision. Strategists are really great at helping create that. Game changer, a need for creative expression and freedom. And so that person really wants to have those original ideas. And so if we're thinking about changing and innovating and doing something different, which is the whole point of a transformation, you can see where this type of individual could be really great at where they put their energy and contribute. And so their change leadership identity is going to be surrounded around that. And so if you start to look at across these here, you can have some internal dialogues of how they're thinking and the negative impacts of where if they're in an environment. Remember I said I wasn't going to talk about that bottom piece? Well, let's talk about it now. The bottom piece of that logical change model, if you're in an environment that is not fostering clear direction and purpose, the strategist is going to feel like there is a loss of purpose, no direction, no clarity, and they're going to get frustrated. You have a playmaker where if they don't feel that they can bring people together, they don't have that ability, they're going to have a crisis of existence of not having any way that they have a purpose of contributing. An implementer, if they're not able to feel like they're achieving anything, they're going to have a loss of confidence about the change. So you can see all these group of things when it comes to your change leadership identity, how you can start helping, because when it comes to leading and getting to action, it's really about all of these. So if I'm a game changer strategist change leader, which I am, by the way, I'm going to want to probably find some playmakers, implementers, and polishers to create that complete package. So I started out with the coactive leadership, talking about we wanted to start the leadership within, which is the theme of this video. Then I showed you the Peter Dill's change logical model of how everything built up, gave you some examples of some tools and processes that are out today when it comes to change. And then jumped into the change maker profile, which is higher on the top of that pyramid, which really starts to talk about the why you do things based on your values and beliefs. And this is getting closer to really starting to understand your change leadership identity. And when you start to ask yourself, what is your purpose? And what do you care about? There's a direct correlation to understanding the why. Because everything below, if you really think about it in context, you can learn new processes and capabilities. You can learn how to improve your behavior and mindset. You see tons of leadership workshops out there today. And your environment. You can change the environment. That part of being a change leader and change maker is changing the environment, or if you're in a situation, you move into another environment. Now, the top part, which I didn't cover and hone in a lot, is about purpose. And so in that change logical model, they talk about bigger, greater purpose. I want to hone in a little bit more narrow when it comes to you as an individual working in a team. An organization is, how does your personal identity and your purpose, your values and beliefs align with that purpose, right? Purpose of an organization or any other thing that you belong to today, right? It's kind of looking at you as an individual and the collective as a whole. So you can look at purpose in the world or what might have you. It's still 1-to-many ratio. That's what I'm getting at. That's when you can start questioning, but you can't really do that if you don't know who you are. So if you're interested to explore more about your identity, in the link of this video, I have my calendar that you can click and schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me.
And this will allow you to figure out, what are areas that you're interested in doing. So I do work as a GC partner on helping you understand through the Changemaker profile where you are in your change leadership. So click on that link, contact me. We can schedule a free discovery call and see where we can go with that. In the meantime, if you did like this video and you found it to be helpful, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my video, or I should say, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to, of course, click that bell to get notified and share with your friends this video. And hopefully I'll see you next week as we dive further when it comes to change leadership.